Shalini.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So before I start this meeting, I'll let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded, and if any one of you don't want to be recorded, then you can just leave at this point of time. So we are starting. Yeah. A very warm welcome to everyone to the Dynamics 365 Champs, the Power Platform meetup for the Kolkata chapter. So what we are going to do today? What's the agenda? For the ones who are joining new for us to the first time, I'll say who are we and how can we connect. Then I'll give you the news, updates, and the upcoming events. Then we have introduction to mixed reality by none other than MVP Prashant Shukla. And at last, we have the question answer session. We'll move to the next slide. So yeah, Dynamics 365 Champs, it's your own local community, and I'll give you a brief timeline on it. So in 2018, all the community leads realized that there is an importance of a local community, mostly in the Southeast Asia region. So around 10 leads gathered and they formed a team in Singapore. As time passed by, the number of leads grew and the community went global. And today, in the current year 2020, we have a lot of members and leads all across the globe, namely in Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand, and others. So right now we have around 780 members in the Kaizela community, as also in the LinkedIn we have got a following of 5,000 people. In the future prospects, we have a lot of program. The recent was being Empower, where we gave the college students the learning about Power Platform. So we'll move to the next slide. You can connect with us on social media. We are present on LinkedIn, Twitter, Kaizella. As also, if you're logged in from your laptop, you can scan the QR code from your phone and download the Kaizella app. We have a lot of new things going on in the Kaizella app where we have power trivia and all. You can participate in the power trivia, and we have amazing gifts for you. And finally, if you want to speak at the D365 meetup, you can scan this QR code and you'll fill in the form and we'll get in touch with you shortly. Vivek, you can take over from here. You are on mute, Vivek. Vivek, you're on mute.
Vivek, you're speaking on mute.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Thanks for the update, Shalini. So there are some quick updates from across the globe in terms of news. Again, Microsoft has changed the logos. I think that's the new logos they have placed, and they are pretty well now. And we hope that they are not going to change in next few hours at least. Microsoft is bringing the Power Platform to GitHub. That is another good news, so that most of the guys, they can go and have a kind of open source GitHub access, and they can access the certain of the solutions from the Microsoft. Microsoft also introduced the preview of a new Power BI for the teams, and we are waiting some good kind of BI dashboards to develop on the team side. Then the next thing is the Power Virtual Agents and the Microsoft Azure Bot Framework integration is now allows you to build bots with no code plus a simpler and one-click publishing experience to the teams. Now that is another good development which Microsoft is going on the Teams side, and you might see more things coming up on the Teams side, because that's another platform which is coming up for so many of the apps. Also, Microsoft has introduced the preview of a Power Automate for the desktop, and that's just in the preview which you can go and see on the Microsoft sites. Then on the updates side, we have uploaded the Power Virtual Hour video that was held on the 18th of September by Senthil, and that you can have a look at as well. It is recently almost a day or 2 days before we have reached 5,000 mark on the champs on a LinkedIn follow as a LinkedIn following, and that's another good news for us. And thank you for all of your support, for your sharing and your uh, assessments, whatever you're doing. The another thing is the Power App Trivia, as Shalini mentioned, for the September, there are the three winners: Kirti Setia, Sakul Pani, Mridula Singh. We congratulate you. And there is a good initiative which is taken by Microsoft to promote this one. And Microsoft has given them exam vouchers that are the free ones, complete 100% free. So you can go and enjoy your exams as well. So we want you all champs to get going with this kind of Power Trivia quiz answers, and you can also win the uh, this kind of vouchers, or any if any new gifts come up, you can win them. There is a big announcement we already had few days back, but again we are doing over here for a global biz apps day event, which we are going to held on the 31st of October, which will start at 9 a.m. AEST. For India, it will be almost early on the 31st, I think. Right? It will be starting around 4:30 in the morning.
4:30 a.m.
Yeah, 4:30 a.m. It will be a 24-hour session altogether, and there will be almost speakers from across the geography. So that's what we have. Then recently, Roma Gupta, one of the lead champ, uh, she has a Ignite session with some good people, and that was on how you can go with the uh, career in Dynamics and how you can jumpstart with the Dynamics career. Or another champ, lead champ, or you can say the brain behind the champs. He has his new session for Dynamics marketing, the effective strategies for using Dynamics 365 marketing, that has been published on Microsoft community, and you can see that access it through the below link which has been provided over here. Global Biz Apps Day, as I already mentioned, this is the kind of look, the first look of a Global Biz Apps Day, which is going to get sponsored by few of the big companies across the world, and we are seeing lot of momentum coming against it, not against it, uh, for it. And we also want you to join almost all the sessions if you can, or at most whatever sessions you can join. Please do join over there. The last but not least, thanks for the sponsors for the meetups in across India. Dynamicity, this is the Microsoft. They are the Microsoft partners based out of Ahmedabad, and they do provide services like implementations, upgrades, managed services, and they have the MCT and the MVP, Dipesh Somani, as a co-founder over there. And thank you, Dynamicity, for sponsoring this particular event. Prashant, on to you. Please share your screen.
Sure. Thank you so much. Before I share my screen, I would just like to request everyone, let's make this session interactive. And if you do like something or you feel that this is something new, do drop a thumbs up emoji in the chat window. If you have a question, raise your hand and one of the moderators will let me know. I might not know everything, but that gives me an opportunity to learn about your question and get the answer for you. So please, let's make it interactive. Thank
All
you.
right. I'll just take 30 seconds or maybe 15 seconds there. The reason we don't introduce Prashant is because Prashant don't need any introduction, but what we want to add is he's the low code, pro code, no code crusader for Power Platform, and he's our community lead. He's also an MVP. Today he's going to talk about mixed reality, and I think it is good that you don't need an introduction at all, Prashant, and we'll leave to you. So if you want to introduce, some of the people might be new hearing you for the first time. Feel free to
Yes,
introduce yourself if you want to, if you
right.
wish to.
Right, so that's where I didn't introduce Prashant. That my introduction might be a little lesser, so I didn't took that particular right.
That's all good. I've got my introduction slide. Okay, can I
All right,
start?
Prashant. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is my first session on mixed reality, and whenever I do a video or any session, I first try to learn it. So basically, it means that I learn with you, and that's how this thing is happening. We will look at the basic scenarios here. We are not getting into complications of it, but there is a lot to understand in terms of mixed reality. Also, it is a preview feature, so you can try it, but it's not production ready. Just giving you a heads up. All right. In terms of about me, um, I've got 10 years of work experience or slightly more than that in business application space, specifically Microsoft business applications. I have a background of Dynamics 365, sales, customer service, marketing. I picked up Power Platform about 2 years ago when I started learning about it, and I'm all about the no-code way, and that's what Deepesh was talking about. On the bottom left of my screen, you can see all my social channels. In case you want to subscribe or follow, please do. Feel free to do that. I've also got free courses available as part of community learning. So if you do wish to enroll in that, you can do that as well. The link is there. And I just want to say that the views and opinions expressed during this session does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any specific organization. So these are all my views. Looking at the agenda for today, we will look at the what, the why, and the how of mixed reality in Power Apps. Beginning with the what is mixed reality? Let's look at that for a bit. I'll provide you a brief introduction on how and when it was discovered or introduced. So it was introduced in the year 1994 by Paul Milgram and Fumio Kishino. It is the blending of both the physical and the digital worlds. What you see on the bottom right of my screen is it tells you a lot about mixed reality. Okay, so you see human, you see computer, you see the environment, and then you've got conventional reality, you've got human computer interaction and the perception, and somewhere at the center of it is mixed reality. So this is an intersection, what you see. It is not obviously real, but it is as close as possible to the real. And that's why it's at the center of computer interaction, human interaction to the environment, and human computer interaction. There are two different types of devices which I've heard while learning about mixed reality. Holographic devices, which are characterized by the device's ability to place digital content in the real world as if it would there. So that's holographic devices for you. And in terms of immersive devices, they are characterized by the device's ability to create a sense of presence, hiding the physical world. So this is completely different to what we will look at today in terms of mixed reality. So immersive can bring things to you, but it has no touch with the environment. So what you see on this diagram here, it doesn't show you that, but it can show you an object with the help of that device. So the experience, that overlay graphics on video streams of the physical world are augmented reality. The experiences that occlude your view to present a digital experience are virtual reality. While mixed reality brings together the real world and the digital environment elements elements together. In mixed reality, you interact with and manipulate both physical and virtual items and environments using next generation sensing and also the imaging technologies. Mixed reality allows you to see and immerse yourself in the world you even interact with, all without ever removing your headset or from wherever you are basically trying to do it, from the mobile device or an iPad or whatever. It provides you the ability to have one foot or a hand in the real world and other in an imaginary place, breaking down the basic concepts between real and imaginary, offering you an experience that can change the way you either game or work today. So our focus is more on the work side because this is Power Platform. The examples I've taken in my demo wouldn't be business scenarios, but it will tell you a lot of mixed reality and what potential it carries. Now the why in Power Apps, let's look at it briefly. This is just one slide, so I will not bore you. We will probably in the next 5 minutes, we'll look at a demo and then we can go back to Power App and see how we have achieved that. So basically why in Power Apps? Because it will improve your business operations. So as we know that Power Platform is now 4 years old, and obviously there are thousands of users, and these people were using Power Apps for several reasons, right? But when it came to mixed reality, they had to switch between the apps or systems. But now these people have got better visibility or will get better visibility on placement of their products and maybe in selling the product without switching between applications. And that's one of the reasons why it has been put in as part of Power Apps. And there is a component available for preview. You can provide feedback on that. But this in turn has increased the efficiency or will increase the efficiency of human resources because they can now visualize things without having to order it physically or even wait for it. And we all know that efficiency reduces costs of operation and in turn gives a boost to the bottom line of any organization. So this is, as for me, I think this is why it's a part of Power Platform now, and this is why it's been introduced in Canvas apps to improve business operations. And these are the 4 factors I thought it might be worked to get this component ready. Any questions at the moment?
No, Prashant, we are good. You can continue.
Okay. Now, in terms of examples, I'm showing you 2 examples because these are also available on the Power Apps community side. So heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, and fast-moving consumer goods. These are 2 examples where people or customers have actually used mixed reality or already are experimenting on it and getting benefits. This I have shown officially because it's available on Power Apps community. Now, but if you think about it in current scenario, or I might just call it the pandemic we are going through currently, it would be a lot better for students because they have no means of going and visiting places which can be of interest for teachers, right, or students. So now we've got Teams for students. Students are learning via Teams, but how about we can create a Power App within Teams with mixed reality where students don't need to really visit a museum, but they can see everything in mixed reality and still do their projects or whatever assignments they are given, right? So there can be a lot of possibilities. There is no limit with mixed reality in Canvas app. And yeah, it's just limitless. So although you see 2 examples, but it can be anything really, as long as there's something physical and tangible which you want to present and not just oxygen or air kind of thing. It is this mixed reality component can be used. Next one is how to build. Now, this is where I wouldn't speak much about how, but we will look at how. First of all, we need to understand what components are available as part of mixed reality in Canvas apps or Power Platform. Number 1 is view in 3D. Number 2 is view in mixed reality, and then measure in mixed reality, and then view shape in mixed reality. You can add 3D content, rotate and zoom, so you can see it from every possible angle with just adding a shape or anything. So you can do a view in 3D. You can see something in mixed reality, how an item looks within a specified space. Now, this is really important for businesses. This is a major part of mixed reality in Power Platform. Measure in mixed reality, this is one of my least favorites because there are a lot of apps which can do this. When I say apps, I'm not talking about business apps, but the mobile apps. But still with this one, you've got some additional features. For example, you can actually take a picture of what you measured, which is not available with any other app. So although it's the other app solves a purpose, but this has got something in addition to that. You can calculate distance or the length, area, and volume. So these are the 3 things available to you at the moment. You can view shapes, as I said, so you can see if a simple cube can fit within a specified space. Now, when you read docs.microsoft.com, it clearly says shapes, right? And when you go to your Power Apps makers experience or admin portal, whatever you might want to call it, you only see a cube. Now you cannot see a circle or something round or a sphere, right? But you can definitely make use of the cube in different shapes, and we will look at it in one of the videos. And when I'm playing the videos, please make sure that you say something, ask a question, or do something about that, because these are really short videos, but there's a lot behind that. And then after completing all the 4 demos, we will get into the app and see how it was done. So these are the 4 pre-built components available. Now, before we get into the demo, it is important you need to understand where to learn this. And Shalini, I would request you if you can be kind enough and share both these links in the chat window so people, whenever they have got time, they can click and learn too. So the first one is the overall link, what you can see, and the second one is very specific to viewing the mixed reality component. Okay, so this is where you can go and read and learn about it, try it, and if you've got question, you must be part of D365 Champs. You can post a question in the group or reach out to anybody. All right, demo. I keep on saying demo, but there are a few more things. This is very, very important, essentials. Now, this has all been taken from docs.microsoft.com, I think, except for one thing, but which is point number 3. The security architecture. So what it is trying to say is that you can only use HTTPS links. You cannot use HTTP, which means it needs to be secure. That is really important. The server that hosts the document must not require authentication, which is CORS compliant. So it has to be there. And if you'll Google it, you'll find a Wikipedia page. You can go and read about CORS compliant, what it means. You can only use GLB files at the moment. The fourth one is very interesting, that you have to enable the mixed reality feature for each app. It cannot be done at the platform level at this stage. So every time you're creating an app, you have to enable it for that app, specific app. Number 5, I'm pretty sure this is very obvious, but we need a mixed reality capable device. It says on docs.microsoft.com, our core capable device is supported as are certain Apple iOS devices. So I know that my laptop is not supported, but my mobile is. So a lot of Android and iOS devices would be supported. A lot of Google or Android tablets, whatever it's called, would be supported. iPad is supported. But in terms of laptops, I'm unsure which devices are capable of this. But there is a list available. So when you go to docs.microsoft, you can probably find it. All right, let's get into the demo. What we are going to look at would be in the sequence of how I showed you the pre-built components. So the first one is view in 3D. This is a video, so I'll just play it and you should see, and I'll try to say what I'm trying to do here. This is an app I've created specifically for mixed reality. In the first screen, it's pretty basic, just telling you the name of the app and the logged in user's name. And then towards the bottom, it has got a date. Now, the date format got messed up, although on my laptop, it shows good, but on my mobile, it shows, there's some setting that it shows it like the American version kind of thing. So I'll hit play. Now what I'm doing is I just clicked to enter the app. Now I'm clicking on view in 3D. It opens up a list for me here. This one actually, view in 3D is compatible on laptop, so I'll be able to show it to you live as well. But I've recorded the video here. So this is actually a gallery I've created, and then I've clicked on view in 3D, and now I can see this table with chairs and everything. Now I did this intentionally, so your object is gone. So then you can click on reset. So then it will be repositioned there for you to play with. So now I can see under the table, over the table, on the side, and everything. I can do everything here. But this is what I was talking about earlier, that this is not mixed reality. This is 3D. So you don't see actually putting that table in real life, which we'll see in the next one. Do we have any questions at this stage?
No, Prashant, you can go ahead.
Okay. Number 2 is view shapes. Okay. Now, view shapes is really important. Now, I'm assuming that we might understand, and if somebody in the call doesn't know about Power Platform, listening to it for the first time, do let me know, and I'll be happy to clarify it during this call as itself. View shapes is a very interesting and a very cost-effective feature which they have put in here. So that's very strategic of Microsoft to do that. Why I'm saying that? Because to create 3D objects or to create mixed reality components, you actually need somebody to do that, which would incur some cost for you. But you can actually, with view shapes, you at least can get an idea as close as 60% of what it could look like. Let's say you want to see whatever, a curtain or a cupboard or a table. You can have those shapes and you can place it and see. For example, you're doing the tiling in your room. You want to see it with the help of shapes, you can, right? So that is very cost effective because you don't need people to create these objects for you. So that's really good. Now let me just play it. And the names I've given this is very like everyday names, but I'll try and give you an alternative of that. This time I'll click on view shape in MR. Now I've said curtain shape, but this means the horizontal version. So what I've done here is, you know how I was saying, let me just get back here. Let me just pause it. So you know how I was saying that only cube is available, right? While Microsoft has mentioned officially that there are shapes. So when they say shapes, there must be multiple. But when you go to Power Apps, it's only cube. So how it works is that you need to change the dimensions of the cube to be able to see something. Okay, so let me just play it again. So here what I've done is let's assume I'm trying to fence so that my pets do not go to my neighbor's home, right? So I'm trying to fence the area. Now I did a mistake the first time, the second time as well. The placement is not right. So you see that circle which is popping in. You need to make sure you put that at the right place, which I'll do now. So I can see, okay, this type of measurement, if I can get these type of panels, let's say 10, it will cover the whole area there, right? Then I'll click on, I think cupboard I used. So if I click on cupboard, so you imagine this one that I'm, let's say, at a dealership and I'm trying to get a new fridge, and I again did a mistake, as you can see. But I'll tell you the reason behind why I'm committing the mistake every time. So now I placed a shape of a cupboard here, and that wasn't a cube. So this time I'm trying table. I think I pressed on table, but look at it as tiling. So instead of grass, I want tiling here. I can use that. Okay, so I was trying to give an example of the cupboard one. Now, as a dealer, I'm trying to get, let's say, Coca-Cola or Pepsi in my store, and I don't really need to create an object which is exactly like a refrigerator, or I don't want my dealership or the vendor to provide me a fridge. I first need to check out how it would look, how much cover it's taking. I can just use that cupboard shape because it's very similar to a refrigerator. Now, obviously, you can put in your own dimensions there and have a feel of that, how much space it's covering, whether it will look good or not. So that saves you a lot of cost there for small businesses. So that was view shapes. Just asking again if there is any other question.
You have a beautiful house, Prashant. No
It
question.
wasn't my house, it was the front of my house.
Front of your house.
Okay, thank you. So no questions?
No, we don't have questions. We can move forward, Prashant. I think
Cool,
maybe
thank
when
you.
you will show the app, we will have a lot of questions.
Cool. Okay, third one was, I think third one, what I showed as pre-built was actually measure, but here by mistake I put in mixed reality. So here I'm doing view in mixed reality. Let me play the video. I'll click on view in MR or mixed reality, and my list is loading. I've used the same list here, and then I will click on view in MR. Now what do you see? I'll just pause here. So what do you see here? I've made it dynamic. So first the button name changes. So you can see whatever object you select in the gallery, the button name changes. This is pretty simple for people who have worked on Canvas app, that you can make the button name dynamic. But this is what the beauty of Power Platform is, because in order to do this in Dynamics 365, it will take a lot of effort. But in Canvas apps, it's like 10 seconds. So that's one, but ignore that comment about the button because it's very simple. But what I'm trying to do here, so I've got a drop down of unit of measure, and then against that, I've got height, depth, and breadth or width of the object, right? So I can put in these measurements or these numbers based on my requirement, right? So some people might have a smaller bed, a lot of others might have a larger bed. So they can put in and picture it themselves. So if, let's say I'm an architecture firm and I'm doing a client visit for proposing them that what kind of things they should have in the house in terms of interiors, I can make these things dynamic and I can show them that this is how it will look. If somebody says, well, this room is smaller, I need a smaller bed here, I can just immediately change the numbers, not the object, and it would work, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here. I have associated this with the property of the view in MR component, and that's how it's working. So let's see what happens. So first I've selected a dinosaur. I've said it should be 3 meters in height and 1.5 and 1.5 in width and depth. And then it asks you to place that somewhere on the screen. Now I've placed this, and it also depends on the object I've picked. This is a free object which I got, so it doesn't look that real, but you can see the reality in it. It's right in front of the yard, and you can go around it. So basically, you've done nothing, but there is an object, so you literally have to move around 1.5 meter of radius, which means 3 meters of diameter, right? So you literally have to do that. And then what I did was I was storing that image to be able to look at it later, that this is how it looks. If you want to send it to someone, your friend or your colleague, you can send that picture out. This time I've selected a dragon. I've just changed the dimension of the dragon and I'm trying to load it again. So that was the correct size when I double tapped on it. Then it came with the correct size, the 4 meters thing. Now it's a flying dragon, as we can see. The ones with Game of Thrones, they were costing me like $2,000 to purchase those dragons, and this one was free, so I just used this. So the quality of the object might not be good, but you are understanding what I'm trying to show here. All right, I'll take a pause there and give you a business scenario here that if you, let's say, you've got multiple dealers, right? And I have taken this example. You can take anything else. Let's say you are into cranes and things. Obviously, you cannot carry those products with you to show to a client, but you can always go to their warehouse and say, here's how it will look, here's how the area it would cover, right? So take an example of crane for that matter. Similarly, you can have multiple dealers. You, let's say, are a shoe manufacturer. You don't want to spend money on literally sending physical shoes until you've received an order. So you can have them as an object here. You go to the dealer, show it to them, they see it on their screens, and they're happy with it. They put an order right straight into your Canvas app, and then you deliver it. So that's why I was saying improving business operations and efficiency is, I think, one of the reasons we have got mixed reality in Power Platform now. Okay. The last one here to demo is measurement. Now, I've got an iPhone and I've got this app inbuilt, which can help me to measure things. So I'll tell you the things which are not available with the out of the box or the native mobile app, but with mixed reality, what is the difference? So what I'm drawing here is trying to measure the width of this garage door. And I've just clicked on the plus or add button and clicked here again. And I'm finding it hard to just stop it. Okay, once I do that, I'll go a bit further and you can see the measurement right there. Okay, in that line which I've just drew from my app, which says I think 2.38 meters. And then I've clicked on take a picture. Now, I forgot to submit. The system or the mobile directly gives me a warning. Do you want to submit it? Now I've clicked a picture, and in the picture I can see the length there. Okay, as well as let me just go back a bit. So as well as what you see here is the unit and whatever you have measured, 2.38. Okay, this is the simplest version which I've taken. This can be a gallery within a gallery. So if you want to measure area or volumes, you'll have to get into, I think they are called segmentations. And so special mixed reality expressions are there now, which are called segmentations, for which you'll have to have a gallery within a gallery. I have just done a gallery here. Okay, so there is a lot of possibility, but instead of calling it length, it is mentioned as distance. But when you go to expressions, it's called path length. We will look at it soon. Before we jump into the app, I would like to tell you a few important tips. So first, that where would you store all these images which you've got in terms of the 3D images? So on GitHub, you can store them. What you see in the first place, that is the URL you will see from GitHub, right? You'll have to remove blob, what you see here, and then you have to replace the github.com thing with raw.github.usercontent.com. So that's how you can use it. This is one of the tips. For Excel OneDrive, this is again important because I've used 3 different things in my app. I've used a model-driven app or CDS. I've used GitHub and I've used Excel. So I'll tell you that. But in Excel, what you need to do, first of all, your column must be named as something, and then in square brackets, you must mention image. That's how Canvas app can pick it up that this is an image. Okay. Second, when you're telling that where is this image located in your Excel, I'll show you the Excel as well. You have to say dot backward slash or backslash folder and then backslash dot file. So that's how you can get the image from the folder. In model-driven apps, there are 2 ways to use it. I have done the GitHub URL because I have my repository in the GitHub. So I've used GitHub URL for my model-driven app, but you can also use CDS notes, just like how so in SharePoint, you'll have to do the base 64 thing, but CDS notes auto does it for you. For Dropbox, you just have to add a prefix, which is DL in front of Dropbox, right? And that will make it available. Now, the important question is, as I mentioned, that the images are very costly. If you go online. There are a lot of websites which are providing you free images, but then the quality is not good. You can get better quality for free, and which is via a 3D viewer in your Windows. So I got it pre-installed. I'm unsure if everybody has got it pre-installed, but if not, you can download it. It's called 3D viewer for Microsoft, and just click on get and you'll get it as a system application. There you've got a lot of images you can download for free. Now do not panic. When you download it, it will say GLTF, but when you upload it to GitHub, it will show you GLB, and that's the file which is accepted. Okay. Any questions here? No, I'm assuming not.
We have a question, Prashant. We have a question from Golaknath Mishra.
Mm-hmm.
Golaknath, would you like to unmute yourself and ask yourself, or I'll do it for you?
Yeah, hi Prashant. Actually,
Hello.
this one, something came to my mind because previously I worked with AutoCAD and ProE. The thing is that ProE, CATIA, and SolidWorks, those CAD CAM tools also used for 3D visualization so that customer can have a visual, means how it looks like. The thing is that what is the difference between those CAD CAM software in context to mixed reality?
I have not really worked on CAD and CAM softwares, but the difference is as long as your image is 3D, which I think you can create via CAD CAM
Yes,
thing or
yes, yes.
AutoCAD and the Maya software and the OBJ file and all those things. As long as you can convert it to a GLB file, it's all good. You can use it here. But in terms of that, the usage of CAD CAM and the usage of mixed reality, I think it's completely different because
Yes, so
mixed
I'll
reality
add
here.
to that, Prashant. So CAD/CAM and CATIA or ProE, that applications are majorly for designing the things, not for the mixed reality. Okay, first thing.
Ex-
So if you
exactly.
have to design any object or any kind of diagram, you can use it for designing. Now, what Prashant is showing here, it's the use of that particular images into a mixed reality. The second thing, as you rightly said, we can go and present it to a customer, but
Mhm.
CATIA, ProE and other designing tools, they are way costlier, so customer don't have the access to that particular images easily unless they have that particular applications with them like CATIA or ProE installed on their desktops. So what happens in that case is the designers has to go to the customer and showcase it on their laptop or their machines or their tools, not onto customers machines unless they have that specific softwares installed. So there is a huge difference. One, they are designing softwares. Here what we are showing the usability of the 3D diagrams and how we can go and showcase use of that particular objects. So here we are using the objects, we are not designing the objects. The major differences between the tools and the mixed reality is this one.
So,
You can go
so,
ahead.
so Prashant, can I take a minute of your time as well? I'm just a visual learner, so it will be very clear. I've used both the products. I've used AutoCAD in the past as well.
Sure.
So, can I take a minute to take this
Yes,
question and
please.
yeah. So I'm just taking the screen over as well a bit.
Mhm.
So if I have to use this, I have to see if I place a crane in my particular place and I want to see it in my garage, like or in my warehouse where I have placed it and how it will look like. This design has to be built in that software, and then using Power App or Power Platform in a low-code way, I can integrate it into my app scenario, right, and my mobility use case. Similarly, if I am validating some work fixes that are there and which I want to validate actually. This design need to be ready in the designing software, and that's something you will need to get involved in your implementations or for your customers first, and then you can place it in. Similarly, if you want to take measurements, you can utilize it along with your business application, just an extension to what Vivek and Prashant were saying there. Similarly, if I want to see, okay, if I place this particular machine or 3D model over there, the 3D model need to be ready, of course, with your Power App. It can keep changing over a period of time as well. And these are the scenarios which you can look at. You can also do a 2D modeling, right, if you would like. So I
Mm.
think that gives a clear visual idea of how this particular part will work, right?
Yeah,
So
mostly I think we can put it in any place actually we want so that it will have a clear visualization. That is the one thing I noticed. This is the good feature in mixed reality. Means previously we can only generate image, but here I can put that at any place of where I
yeah,
want
so
to place it. Yeah.
so it will
Yeah.
take immense amount of effort, both in terms of time as well as cost to the companies to do this. But in using Power Platform, what Prashant just presented, and I don't want to take a lot more time on this. It will be a very low code and a quick way, and cost wise also you're going in a lower volume, right? So you're not putting a lot of money in there to do this.
Yes,
Now,
yes, yes.
if you
Yeah.
if you allow another minute, Prashant. So the
Yeah.
best use case of this mixed reality is the interior designing firm, where what interior designers they do, they just go visit a particular area or the flat or the of corporate office. They take a measurements and they try to fit in the objects. Okay, so what happens? They generally go and use this Katia and Pro kind of softwares for designing that things, and they showcase it to customer. But they do these things in front of the customer, like, okay, if customer want this particular cupboard or table to be placed on this particular area, corner or kind of thing, so that they can try it out there itself by looking at the images, taking the images and try to fit in the measurements they have. Or even they can go and change the size of the cupboard. Generally, if they have the size of the cupboard as 6 feet tall, so they, instead of, if that particular size is not fitting over there, they'll just say, okay, 4 feet looks better over here. That kind of scenarios it is there. But cupboard designing will surely not be done over here. That will be that they will be using their own objects which they had designed earlier for some other offices, and they want to use it for the new office they are designing. That way it works. So
Right,
Prashant,
right.
sorry, but you can go ahead now.
That's all right. I think
Yes.
there is a confusion. When I was trying to probably slide number 6, where I was talking about what is mixed reality, I tried to tell that placing your object at a specified place without moving away from the environment you are in, that is mixed reality. So that was mentioned, but um, I think there was a confusion that whether objects are created within Canvas app, and that's why I was talking about 3D viewer and sample objects available there, and that's why I was talking about just using shapes, because then you don't need the objects. So objects cannot be created within Canvas app. They can be placed as part of galleries, or in terms of viewing those objects, that needs to be created somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
I'll share my screen now. Okay, so number one, as I was talking about GitHub, so all my images, whatever I've used, are placed here. You can see that. If I click on that, you see that this is what the URL is. I'll have to remove blob, and I have to replace github.com with what I said earlier. Um, in terms of Excel, you can see here, first let's look at my OneDrive. So my Excel is in the OneDrive. I've got a folder called 3D objects. This is where all my objects are. If I go back, then my Excel is out of that folder. In this folder, in this Excel, I'm saying the URL for the image is, you can see I spoke about dot and backslash, and then the folder name, then the image name. So that's how I'm getting it. Okay. Now, going back, let's just do a simple one. So in CDS, I've used the 3D URL. The URL is basically the one from GitHub. So I don't have to do much here. I just use that URL as a URL, and I can see this object then in a gallery in Canvas app. So now let's go to the Canvas app. Home screen is pretty simple, so don't look at it. Selection screen is pretty simple, just navigating you to different parts. Let's do play, and I'll click on view in 3D, and it takes me here. Once it loads, so this is what I was saying, that view in 3D I can show in the laptop, but not view in mixed reality. So if I click on view in 3D, I will go here, and here I can just do anything I want. Now, if I click back and then go back to the app, and show you this gallery. This is item products, which is basically here. This is a custom entity. I've created products because I did not have the trial for sales. So I had to create custom entity for products, and I put in things there. And this is how the form is. Now, there's another way to do this is to create a note and then create a gallery with the help of notes. So it you can read more about it in the link shared during this conversation. You can read more about how you can use CDS directly and not using a GitHub link here. But I think this is much more quicker than doing that. Okay, so that was my view in 3D screen. Now, if I go back to the selection screen and then go to view shape in MR, let's say, and let me just close this. Now here is the whole difference. This is what I was talking about. So if I click here, you can see that I have set the shape depth to be 0, and that's why you were seeing it as a flat structure. You can select your unit of measurement here, right? I think I forgot to tell you a very important thing, how to enable this feature, which was to go to File and go to Settings and Advanced Settings. And towards the end, you will see experimental features, preview features. Here. So you have to switch it on every time you're creating a mixed reality app or a Canvas app with mixed reality component in it. So this is how you need to do that. Let's go back. Table shape, again, you will see I've set the height to be 0. So this acted like a tile for us. Cupboard shape is actually, if I do this as 1, it becomes a cube, but I've set the height to be 2, so it became a cupboard. That's how I did this one. Now, going back to the selection screen and going to view in Emma. This is where my Excel is. So let's wait for it to load. So it takes a bit of time because it's loading it from somewhere else, and it's a 3D image. I can even look at the images from here. So I can even rotate them from here because in the gallery, I've added a view in 3D component, and we will look at it in a moment. But if I click on view in Emma, you can see that I've got this and these 3 boxes here. And if I go to my component here, which is the view in mixed reality, I have set the height here, object height, to the input height, which is here. And similarly, I've done it for unit of measure. I think unit. So you can see unit of measurement here, selected text value in the dropdown. Okay. Now, in order to add all these, I think we didn't see, okay, let me just click here. So what I've done here is that whenever we are looking at our mixed reality object, which we did, we can actually click a picture of it, and then we can clear it from here. So this, I'm taking the first picture I take, and then I'm showing it to here, and this is basically nothing. I've just done first and the expression to do that. So this is simple. Now, the last bit here, because I'm mindful of the time, is how to add these components. So if I just get out of here and go to Insert, you will see the mixed reality here. Now, there are 3 components under mixed reality: view in MR, view shape in MR, and measure in MR, which we have seen during the demo. And the third one is under media and view in 3D here. Now, if I go back to one of my galleries, let's say gallery 2. Now this specific thing is a 3D URL, which we are getting from CDS. Okay, so that's how we are getting it from, but I have actually inserted, so instead of having, so I've changed the source here, but instead of adding image here, you know how you add a simple gallery and you see an image, I've replaced it with that 3D view in 3D thing, which was here. Okay, so that's how we can see 3D images here. Now, okay, that was all. I don't think I'm missing on anything, but if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Prashant, for a wonderful session. Guys, if you have any queries, you can please unmute yourself and ask the questions directly.
Thank you, Prashant, for a wonderful session. We'll wait for the questions. I think it must have taken a lot of effort. One of the first times all the mixed reality scenarios are being presented along with the actual business cases or use cases where we can use them. So great effort and a great demo and demonstration from your end.
Sorry, I missed on one thing. Sorry. So I didn't show measure in Emma. So here I've got the unit, which is this item's unit, simple. But if you look at the length, obviously the first part here is text, but it is considered path length. So keep that in mind. It's not length as length, but it's path length. Now, if I go out of it, and click on measure in Emma, you can see unit of measurement. You've got these four options, and measurement type is important. So instead of calling it length, it's called distance. And then you've got area and volume and volume. So let's say if I've got a wooden plank, or let's say a table, and I have to get the area, I have to do it in a continuous way. You know how in the demo I just went from point A to B? I'll have to do point A to B in a direction and B to C in another, and then keep on doing it for the all the four direction. Then what it does is, in terms of area, it multiplies the first and the last one and gives you the area. But for volume, I haven't tried. It's a bit different than this. So I haven't tried that one, but there is an option to calculate volume as well. Sorry, that's all.
Right. If there are any queries, Vivek and Shalini, you can take it up. Otherwise, well, thanks a lot to Prashant from my end, and you can take it over.
There are no queries as of now. Do we have queries? I feel, Prashant, there are no questions. You explained it pretty well to everyone.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen just in case people want to connect to me.
Okay, before we leave, can we just give a brief about Global Biz Apps Day over here? Dipesh, Prashant, if you allow.
Yeah, sure. So, in case you want to connect with Prashant, that's the screen, and then Vivek, you can take over from there.
Yeah, sure. I'll just quickly go and share my screen.
So while Vivek is doing that, just want to mention this recording will be available on our YouTube channel. Shalini, you might want to paste the link to our YouTube channel over there, and you can always go back and learn from there. There was a lot of things covered in a matter of an hour or so. So you can have a look there as well if you want to learn later. All our meetups and Power Virtual Hours we have been doing, including the Power Platform Community Learning Day we did in May of this year, is all posted to our YouTube channel. So it's a good video learning for everybody. Over to you, Vivek.
Yep, thank you. So, guys, as we initially said, we are going with a big event, a 24-hour event, and that is a global event reaching all the continents as well as all the time zones. So, this is a Global Biz Apps Day, which we are going to start on October 31st, 2020. And these are some of the details which we wanted to share with you. So, what the Global Biz Apps Day is, it's for you, and we will be getting a more on different kind of stacks and the business apps in terms of Dynamics 365 or any other kind of platforms. So this is the sessions, they will be given by industry experts throughout the uh, world, and there are so many nominations we have already received on that particular side. The other thing, what kind of applications we are going to go and take over these, and if you have any extra idea, please go fill up your session on the sessionize, which we have already released the link. So like Power Apps, Power Automate, BI, all the Microsoft 365 complete platform as well as the Dynamics 365. There is no limitation that you cannot go with the, it is only for CRM or CE. No, you can go with the ERP modules as well, or any other thing like Azure bots or anything like Prashant showed it on a mixed reality. Now there are hundreds of different platforms or the options where Dynamics 365 can be used. So feel free to submit your sessions, or if you have any speakers in your mind, please reach out to them and say, okay, this is the kind of event which Champs is promoting or they are going to do. So they can go and submit their sessions. So there were so many things that this is not mentioned in the list, but we know it can, the list cannot end. It has so many things. So we are just pointing out the major players or the major platforms over here, and you can go and submit your sessions. This is the kind of things we'll be going to have. We are going to have a keynote that will be starting on the AEST at 9 a.m. and throughout the day there will be sessions. So this is the times if you are looking at over here. So AEST it will be at 9 a.m. For IST it will be 4:30, and there are the other time zones as well when they will be starting. So for some of the regions it will start on the 30th of October, and some of the regions it will start at the 31st. So that's what we wanted to show you, and this is what the motto of this particular app event, global BizApps Day event, like be a global citizen. So this particular event is for global champs, not only reaching to a specific geography or kind of thing. So you can really join this to improve your skills. If you want to speak out, you can go and share your experiences as well. So this is what I just wanted to share you, and these are some of the links which I want to share it over here. The registration link is already there. If you want to register yourself as an attendee for this particular event, please go register yourself. And if you want to speak out to this particular session, you can go, there are the options that you prefer time and kind of sessions. You can go submit multiple sessions as well. Some of the speakers has done that already. So if you think your session might be presented by any other speaker as well, with some other grace, so you can have two or three options presented to us and we'll select out. If that is a unique one, we'll surely try to include that one as well. The other thing we want to say that, okay, because we are getting good amount of sessions, we want you to please go ahead and do your submit your sessions as early as you can. Anything, Prashant, you or Dipesh want to add over here?
So I just want to add few things. So if it is, if Champs is a Marvel's universe, this is the final season or the ending of one particular part and beginning of another. So it is our Infinity War time, and we are super excited. It has been few years. It has been so many people. Current organizing team plus the QMs, we have 13 to 14 people who are going to support this. We are excited. This is the end of our meetups. We are not doing any meetups, any Empower, any PVH, especially in October. You're going to see a lot of things coming up one by one. There are a lot of Microsoft sessions, so many MVPs coming on board, and so many people coming with this idea. So you can understand by that notion what this one is about. The call for speakers will land on October 5, 2020, and we will hope that you guys are gonna enjoy that. We are gonna do a lot of some interactive things, and you're gonna see things coming up. Feel free to spend that 24-hour for your learning. If you were not able to spend time on each Saturday for an hour, this is your day when you can come in and you can choose, okay, these are the things I wanted to learn, and I don't think it can be a bigger effort we have put in together. That's all I would want to say about the Global BizApps Day. You will keep seeing announcements coming as soon as I think from coming Sunday or Monday about this. And feel free if you want to join the organizing in some way. If you have some idea, just feel free to reach out to Prashant, me, Vivek, anybody, all the organizers that you see here, and we'll want to discuss that idea and see what we can do because it is for you by you. Prashant, anything to add?
I just wanted to say that this is huge, like really huge. We didn't think that way, but it has gone like too much. Now it is hugest. It's not a word, but it is it is huge. So please participate. please attend events and also feel free to share on social media. Everybody, it will help us. Thank you.
We do have a hashtag for it as well now, right? Like, do we? So we will want to. We will keep sharing it through our channel, but sharing is caring, guys. We always say at Champ. So we hope that you'll be sharing it and make it even bigger. There's a lot of effort going behind, a big team working on this one, and we have paused all our initiatives for October for doing this one. So as Prashant said, this is huge. Yeah, it is already looking huge to us. We know it, and we will make sure that the organizing team is delivering the best possible learning experience, best possible community experience for that day, and some innovative interactions as well. But please support us by sharing, liking, commenting. That really helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Shalini, for organizing with me and Prashant for leading a wonderful session. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice day. Please stay home. Be safe. Take care. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Have a
so much,
Prashant,
nice
for a
day.
everyone.
wonderful. Thank you, Prashant, for a wonderful session. Thank you, Shalini, for organizing along with Vivek, and thank you to all the organizers and quiz masters who joined in today. Thank you to all the other MVPs who supported us on the meetup today and who are going to support us on the Global BizApp Day. Stay safe, stay well. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Bye.